I tried to record Fury calling Wilder a spade, but I fucked it up. So here we go again.
Like that, to be as crazy as that. Legs so strong, so fit. He knew he lost the fight. Look at the X-ray, he didn't do anything. I was running around with hands off. I knew I'd won the fight. You can see the admiration and respect between two warriors there.
See there? Now I don't know if spade has the same connotations in the UK as it does in the US, but we all know what it means here. Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've never called a white man a hunky or what have you. I know every race has a little bit of what you all call prejudice, but it's actually xenophobia, which is a mechanism of self-defense against outsiders. So I'm not going to blame them for that. But to say it on the sports TV interview, well, that's where I draw the line. I would never call any race out their name or use a derogatory slang term for them on YouTube. That's something that I would reserve for the back bar room, the neighborhood, in my own personal domain. That's why now it's all very clear, which I always wondered about, why Billy Joe Sanders threw that chicken at Deontay Wilder and ran. That's what it was all about, him being Fury's cousin. I would hate to be a black person caught in between a Fury and a Billy Joe Sanders on a drunken night in London. Maybe that's just their culture, I don't know. But you know, I'm going to tell you something. In America, gypsies don't look like Billy Joe Saunders and Tyson Fury. They look more like the Klitschko brothers. So that, I always kind of got shades of it from them anyway. That racism probably comes from the Irish mix-in, and they're over in England. Because Irish boxers such as John Sullivan and Gentleman Jim Corbett were virulent racists. And they're the one who exhorted Jim Jeffries to come out of retirement and whoop Jack Johnson to say the heavyweight champion from a black man. And their language was very virulent and very vulgar and very hostile towards Jack Johnson. So, you let me know what you think, and you let me know if the word spade has the same connotations in the UK as it does in the US. I could be totally wrong on this. I could be way off on it. But I kind of think that it does, because most of our slang, believe it or not, even though we have a lot of slang that does not correspond, most of our slang comes from Great Britain. Or UK, or whatever the hell you want to call the place. Because you know, America, the US was a colony of the UK, of Britain. They called it Great Britain, meaning the sun, they used to say the sun never sets on the British flag, because England had so many colonies. Allow me to digress for a minute. The Americans did kick the British out, as you all know. But most black people fought on the side of the British because the British exhorted the African slaves to run away from their masters and join their camp against the Patriots. And the promise was freedom if they joined the Patriots. If they joined the Redcoats. And the British actually let escaped African slaves who joined their ranks fight against the Patriots. There was a famous black fighter known as Colonel Ty, against redcoat fighter known as Colonel Ty. Read about him, Googling Colonel Ty, Coltye, Colonel Ty they called him. His real name was Titus Sumner, I can't remember his last name. So that was just a little tidbit I wanted to put in there. Alright, let me know what you think. This is not a long video. Um, I mean, I'm flabbergasted in a way that he would say that. That was probably a slip because Tyson Fury measures what he says very well normally. But I know if he could have, he would have called Wilder a nigga 1,010 times. And I was very impressed. I'm still impressed with Tyson Fury as a fighter. I think he's a tough motherfucker. I think he has guts, and he must have some kind of virtue to get up from that knockdown that Wilder put on him. So I'm not going to take that away from him. But still, if he, this is probably how he talks in his daily life amongst his friends and family, because it wouldn't have slipped so easily off his tongue if he didn't. So you can run, but you can't hide. Eventually, people will see you. We know he's a gypsy, and most gypsies are known for being con men. And he's conning the public about all this. I don't care what color you are, blase, blase. But it don't really matter to me. I don't care if somebody like me or not. The way I think anyway, you're supposed to be biased towards your own. But I would never use a racial slur like that against any other race on YouTube. And I use the word hunky today just to make a point. Yeah, I use it in my home. I have used it in my home, and I'm not ashamed of it. But I would never do that. Say anything derogatory towards another race, an open air like YouTube or something like that. Thank you. If you like, press the like button. Please subscribe. Peace.